Have you ever noticed that it is sometimes easier to change what we believe than to change our own lives? Jesus gives us a very serious warning in the gospel. He says that it is not enough to say, "Lord, Lord." It is not enough to know the word. It is not enough to speak about God. It is not even enough to do good things. We must put the word into practice and change our lives. And then Jesus presents a reality that many people would rather ignore, the possibility of being separated from God forever. Why is it that some people come to deny what the gospel itself presents so seriously? There is a process called dissonance. It happens when there is a conflict between what I believe and the way I live. I know that I need to change, but I continue living in the same way. If this situation continues, eventually a choice appears. Either I change my life so that it corresponds to my faith, or I begin to change my own understanding of faith in order to justify the way I am living. That is when rationalization begins. We start thinking, it's not really like that. God is merciful. It's just a weakness. Jesus couldn't really expect that much from me. And little by little, what once awakened in us the desire for conversion stops bothering us. Sin begins to be called merely a weakness. Wrongdoing becomes just an experience, and the need for conversion disappears. This is what is called moral disengagement, when a person begins creating justifications so that they no longer have to change. But there is even a greater danger. When we find other people who think the same way, we can begin reinforcing each other's justifications. And then the person who reminds us of the need for conversion is called radical, judgmental, or intolerant. It is important to recognize that there are people who truly preach in an unbalanced way, and there is indeed a genuine Christian understanding of mercy. But these truths cannot be used as an excuse to escape what Jesus asks of us. Jesus does not call us to despair. He calls us to conversion. So perhaps today you need to ask yourself a very simple question. Is my life consistent with my faith? If the answer is no, do not look for an excuse. Do not try to adapt the gospel to the life you want to live. Do the opposite. Allow the gospel to transform your life. And if you have fallen, get back up. If you fall again, get back up once more. Do not say, "I'll change tomorrow." Say, "Today is the first day of the rest of my life." God does not call us to do the impossible. He calls us to love. And loving also means having the courage to abandon whatever separates us from Him, because it is better to live each day striving to walk toward God than to give up on conversion and begin justifying what we know needs to change. Today, choose to begin again. It is not enough to say, "Lord, Lord." We must listen to the voice of Jesus and put His words into practice.